me live with Ambrose. Yes, I will say sorry for Friday. We are set like this before the system also gave. But that's why this internet and the system one cannot have 100% control. The system was working as early as before the hour. Setting up things had an issue. Sorry for that Friday meeting that we were unable to come live. For this hour, I will tell you that the global market is also very in a mixed dimension. And I will say it here and I will still repeat it. I always say that news that comes to the market in one form or the other is what drives this sentiment, and that is why you must pay attention to your candle. And I tell you that this candle tells you the story about what? About a session for a whole day, 1 hour time frame, 2 hour time, even a year time frame. It is the candles to tell you the whole story for the year, for the week, for the month, and that is why you must pay attention to what? To your chart. Yes, I'll tell you that you cannot play the market without combining technical and fundamental effectively, and that is good for every successful trader that really want to stay ahead of the market. One thing is that you must win more than you're losing a position. That is the essence of gathering knowledge about what investment. I tell you that you don't stop learning when it comes to investment. You don't stop sharing ideas. You don't stop looking at things that will also better your decision and also your strategy to keep on making more money. Because this market, anytime, any day, is to create wealth for design investor and not those are smart traders that understand how to play the game. And that is why you must really pay attention anytime, any day we're in this class. One thing or the other, at the end of the day, you have to smile, wait, and also go back to your portfolio and also adjust and see what is happening. Like I said earlier, that the Asia market has opened what Asian market has opened in the red. We saw a deep market as we speak now, right away in that zone. We are seeing that most of the market are in red as a result of what the outcome of the recent rating of US economy by Mundi than US economy on the strength of even the tax and also and also the debt ceiling and all. Looking at also the the macroeconomic data that are also coming that are shaking already, pointing at effect of what of the tariff move of Donald Trump administration. That is already telling on on that note. We are seeing that this mixed economy that also are kind of straight toward to also China. Looking at China, we are seeing that data also that came from China are mixed numbers. Also, we are seeing it is also one of the second largest economy. I will tell you that these two economy is just oscillating their number. It will keep investors or market players in that environment, even also to play with caution, looking at them. But one thing that I tell you that every domain, every economy has different fundamental, different sentiment depending on what is happening. That's why you must understand what is happening in your terrain, where you play or where you for even those that are investing in international stocks, you consider where the companies where they operate and also what is happening there, and at the end of the day, able to come to the conclusion what will affect that company or not. That's why you must understand what is happening. I would say yes. On that note, we are seeing that most of the markets I've said earlier in this Asia zone or Asia market, all of them are really mixed at closing world in the southward direction. I can see as a result of what also tracking activities of what is happening in the US as of Friday when Monday that did US economy or from from A to A, smaller A or A minus, let me put it that way. This also will guide investors decision, and that has been a concern for also the government and also the investors are there because this debt also is also another thing that also weigh on their decision going to the future. We are talking about tariff now. When they also comment about the house looking at the debt ceiling on all those stuff will also be 18 point already with this downgrade sentiment also in that environment. And I believe that that's also have been extended to what we are seeing, in China or in Asia market. The sentiment as we speak now is looking weak, and also that also reflected on many stocks this morning. And that is why most of their major indices are also in red. Apart from some sectors that are still trying to vote, I'll tell you that even with the fear of global recession and the trade war, kind of kind of is escalating. This also of that is also important. That's why you must pay attention anytime, any day to see where your focus should be. Because I believe that that should help us as trader or investor. Yes, I know that even we expect to see that the Reserve Bank of Australia will meeting also to either to cut rate or to other. Then why the inflation figure for Japan also be expected, and also pay that also that the rep or the speaker or the what we call it, the Fed will be speaking to the apps also at this time. That also impact on the market. But on the whole, we're seeing that the April data that came from from China actually has also seen kind of trim the losses we're seeing because the economic data are means to see some little improvement in their production, what we call industrial production, which also expanded, in April, despite the headwind from this U.S. Trade economy. There was still not all the economic indicators are looking good. That tells you that we also need to look at how this big economy, the China in Asia economy also try to see that the retail sales also was less than expected. These are the things that also I say that it's a missed economic data that came, and that said that TS sustained a weakness also in consumer spending in that environment, and that's why we're seeing that yes, growth also even a forecast that the growth will was like a mixed growth if it's not taken. The expected growth in China also might also not be met as forecasted earlier. That is one thing we want to know. But I believe that let's wait and see. Even as Beijing also is also struggling to show some growth in that space. But let's see how it will go. Yes, also like I mentioned earlier, with all eyes on Japan, the Japan Prime Minister have come to say that the physical state of Japan is what that of Greece. It tells you that things are also changing. And I believe that all these are a part of what of the trade fear that have started. Let's see how going if we're able to resolve all this before end of either August or July. Let's see then we all know where the global economy is going. But as we speak now, the Australia market is flat, like I told you earlier, and local investors are waiting for what the conclusion of the meeting of their reserve, the reserve bank, on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, that will have a conclusion. Expected that there should be a rate cut of 25 basic points, just like we're here in Nigeria, where all eyes are still to see the outcome of MPC meeting. Their meeting started today to end tomorrow. Also is going on also in Australia right now as we speak. But I believe that analysts in that zone has also forecasted that they expect to see a 25 basic points cut in terms of rate. Let's see how the central bank there will go, grappling with all these uncertainties around the globe and also the global economy. But like I said, Japan also has seen the index there down by 0.3, and that of also South Korea down by 0.1, respectively. These are set of the kind of Japan missing the domestic gross print Friday. The figure that was not so that also is affecting. Why that of India is also a bit down as to speak, despite seeing a kind of a print out on Friday or last week, but today we're seeing India market in that mode right away. Yes, we now move to what is happening in uh, in Europe. That's very important. We must pay attention to see what is happening in Europe as an investor to see also. But in Europe, we can also see that Europe market also is down as to speak now, looking also in that downward direction. Don't forget that when we see things happening in China or Asia, as they were also influencing that also in Europe. Well, actually, I believe that the market in Europe now to speak also, we are looking at the stock there in that zone are also looking southward, and even as the EU and UK summit is upcoming, and also we expect that Putin and Trump also we talking that have been the focus as we speak now. But despite that, the market there are still in red. But seeing that the stock has stumbled in that market this hour in that zone, starting the week onward in this direction ahead of all the geopolitical events that also impacted the region. But I believe that the outcome of the meeting phone call between Trump and Trump and Putin will also stay away. But to speak now, I'll tell you that the German index is down by 0.1, and that of France also is down by 0.4, and that of UK is also down by what 0.3. Like I told you about the UK and EU direction also the peace talk also in spotlight with Trump and Putin meeting. That's why last week we have seen the kind of the summit that of this one was not the meeting between the zone, the zone, and that of the team of why Putin, where Putin sent some. They say that they are low delegate that he sent for the meeting. That also was not put the, to come take any decision at the end of the day. But what hope I that with also this ongoing and something between that the Euro and the UK, and also Trump, putting call that this ceasefire, condition of accepting 90 days, 30 days, unconditional ceasefire proposal by President Trump and backed by Ukraine and Europe, France, president, and on Sunday, let's see how Putin also look to it. But finally, I think all eyes are still on Eurozone inflation figure to be released for April is due any moment from now. I mean, today it's also expected today we might also get the figure at the end of the day. That will also give insight what ECB will be doing also in terms of inflation figure is a very key data that they look forward for decision. But ECB also has got trade more than 7 times, I'll tell you, in the past year, and also as the policymakers also attempt also to kickstart another, to kickstart the struggling economy. That's why they are cutting the board. I tell you that, let's see how we're able to manage all these events of funding in the global sense. Yes, stock are still for some companies that are still having a positive outlook or outlook for their world, for their numbers to come, and that also see how good to add more strength to the economy there and the market in that zone. It's very, very important. Crude oil price also has also moved higher again, sustained almost like 2 weeks again. I would say I think that crude oil is back on some recent gains, and that has been sustained. Even this Monday morning, I was seeing a mistrend, but I tell you that starting after 2 weeks of, we're going to see what's going to go into the future. But as speak now, the oil price almost flat, compared to the gain it had, the previous week. But I believe that once the market digests, the missed data from China and also that of US, that also guide to see. But there's a little drop here. I've seen crude oil at 64.89 dollar as we speak right away. I believe that let's say I go. But for China, industrial production, to kind of beat expectation for April. But let's see how the market can interpret that, despite the heightened world, the heightened impact of the tariff and all on China. But let's look at the final one. Africa, America, before we look at Africa, to go into the discussion for the day. U.S. market, I tell you that there's this market as U.S. has opened, at the lower version of what investors also eyeing the implication of the Moody cut to its U.S. credit rating. Moody noted worry over what multiple trillion dollar that also of U.S. debt piling up every day, and also as lawmakers in Washington D.C. said to put the budget also for some experts to say like, these are the things that are bringing this downgrade we are seeing. And I believe that the US, how they do their things, they're likely to, but it's also weigh on the economy and perception and sentiment on investors. They assess the decision of what they are also digesting and assess the decision of Moody to downgrade this economy on a regular. That is also another thing. For that, I will tell you that all the major indices in US, especially the Jones and S&P and other, are in red as we speak right away after we have seen a recovery in previous weeks. That tells you that yes, successful was seen almost the average the index moving for almost a fifth session on Friday, but sentiment this morning has changed in that market. As was even China and the US agreement earlier boosted this. But all this in afternoon with this fuel, hope that we expect that like China have said that it's time for US also to look and take responsible decision as regards ceiling and also downgrading by Moody. I think it's a time for them to also look that. But I believe that the focus now is on how the US is going to manage all this, especially their treasury minister or secretary who have to look at it and manage that. That is what is also influencing that market. And also the Trump task force also bring also still discussed on the panel level until May 26th to see what it also be and how it's going to be. At the end of the day, we'll see if that also boosts that economy at the end of the day. Yes, also I've seen that also some big tech, MDs like the NVIDIA MD comment on the space of the new artificial intelligence technology, both entrepreneur and also consumer application of this. I believe that also these are the things also should that will drive all those tech company. But I think as investor should know where you should understand and also invest wisely. Even as like I said earlier, that they missed opening of oil price as we speak now. We're seeing that the oil price slowed down after the previous week gain. We're seeing that as investors also digest to what the missed data that Chinese is releasing to the economy to the public. These are the things that also. But even now, like now, like I just said, if you look at it, will follow look at the market. I think that price also is also between 65.1 $61 $1 as we speak now on the international market. But I believe that all this will guide the investor right away. If we move to African market is mixed, and I'll tell you that the NGX, Nigeria market is also not looking bad at all. Our market is also in green here. Even though it goes up and down, and then before this hour was in that the market has already crossed slightly the same level with the last you can see it here, almost the last period you can see this week here, which the market recorded about 109,885.83, and you can see that also today it has tested it again. This what you can see that what is forming a breakout also offered here, but this is also that it will also bring another new history to the market, that Nigerian market has broken out. This market that also usher us a new trend, but you can see that the trend has changed. They're looking at this candlestick. Like I say, candlestick tell a story. Even on 1 hour, on a day, on a minute, you have to pay attention to that. It's very, very important. If the market continue an uptrend here, or the market is going to slow down. Like what I discussed in the class on Saturday, that yes, it's already play for a breakout, but a pullback here should not send any panic. You saw when the market get a pullback, it gather more strength before it continue. Pullback at this time will get the market to gather more strength and also move up. Before we go further, I want to look at what is the market statistics or data right now on the market. It's very, very important that we look at it. If you look at the market is doing you can see it here now. Market already reading around there as we speak because of the pullback already. As the market is down now around there reading 109,540.54. But before at the open market already touched as high as almost at the 109,760.61. Go as high as 9,886 before we'll see this little pullback. Market is really heading to touch 110. You can see it here. Once it break out a new trend, but I believe that market is just at the midday. The possibility of market jumping to hit that to cross this level is also there. And even when it slowed down today, being Monday, and also MPC is ongoing, I believe that many market players are waiting to see the outcome of MPC. But I'll tell you that if time permits, what we should likely see at the end of the day. But let's look at the market first as well. Discussing. If you look at the market breadth is very, very strong. Even when I was seeing that the market trend this morning has been as from 109,710.37 to around 109,889, almost hitting hitting 110,000. But I believe that there's no cause for alarm. But if you look at the market rate is very strong and positive. That it has been on what we're experiencing, that the market rate has been expanding for almost more than 2 weeks. That trend continues. We have seen 35 stock at the gainer start, 36 stock at the gainer start now, and 18 at the loser start as we speak right now. We have seen that fertilizer is also leading in the pack this morning, gaining 10%. Better glass is also there, 9.98%. We have seen Northern Nigeria flour mill. For those in the class yesterday, I told you stocks that we should hold. You can see them, all of them, and wants to buy. As mentioned, you can see fertilizer, you can see the better glass, you can see also Northern Nigeria, Champion Brewing, and the Multiverse reversing from the lost position, gaining 9.94% as we speak. But on the loser side, you can see that those that also in the class I mentioned that stock you should sell. We are seeing one of them here already in the position. We are seeing Transcorp Hotel. We are seeing Wapiku's Coloration Insurance. We are seeing PZ, also University Press, APC Transport, and the Initial, which is a TIP, Initial PLC. These are the stocks that are on the loser chart. But I'll tell you that The momentum in the market is still very, very strong at this hour. There's no cause for allowance, say more position taking as to speak. Yes, we take our time because our time is short. Let's quickly look at the topic of today. Our topic of today is simplifying your trade. That is very, very important. Don't need of it to complicate to kind of complicate issue for yourself when you are trading. Simple trading NGX with what with clear chart and what and pattern. These are the things I've been discussing, and I know that you've been following. But before we start today's class, I'll tell you that anytime, any day you want to trade, you see that your chart is crowded with a lot of what information, different charts and all that. It is time for you to do what to look back and see what next. Because when you open any chart any day and you see yourself seeing know indicators, you see trend lines, and all of them on it. All the first thing you know that you need to clear your chart. Clear your chart. I'll clear the table, and that will give you a clear price chart. But you have a clear price, like I always say, price action will help you to want to make fast decisions and help you to know the direction of the market. It also help you to boost your confidence because when you have to having or are seeing a clear chart like as it is displayed now on this chart, you can equally read the direction easily. When you look at this, that you know what is happening in the market. You can see the peak here, you can see the peak here. You know that this red one that there's sign of self pressure this one. Even when the market has there's some sort of profit taking that have put the market here. It has gone up before, but don't red. There's that sellers but see. You don't need to worry because you are also reading at least just in that chart. Then you can also look shorter time frame to get what the clear direction. But what I mean that when your chart is clumsy, when your chart is full with a lot of indicators, trend line here and there, at times it become confusing. That's why you must clean your price chart. You must make your chart very simple. And that price action, like I always say, must be there to boost your word, to boost your position, to boost your confidence, because it is when you look at it. But when it is clumsy, it becomes a problem to you. If you try to find it to your entrance and your exit, because of what these things are many on the chart, so that becomes a problem for you to take the right decision. In decision will not come because you are not clear. That's why the first thing you do anytime you want to you have to clean your chart. Let your chart be so simple that you're able to read it. That's the first way to start trading effectively. And any indicator that you want to read that you understand, like I said, the one that works for me might not work for you. The one you have good understanding. That you are using moving average, with your price, you are using the RSI with your price. Candlestick is there already, and then I don't joke with it because it tells you a story like I'm going to give you that what is shifting, what is shifting in the market, you know. That's why I say once you look at a single chart, a single candlestick, it tells the story of the market, and that's why I say price is king. But when you look at two charts, two candlesticks, it gives you three. But when you look at more than five candlesticks, it also gives you a long-term insight. The short term between 2 to 5 gives you a short-term insight. You need to understand all this. So that's why it is very good to have what a clear chart, and that is the major reason of what having a simple trading strategy and also trading chart or decision making into the tools that will help you at any time. That is why they have 5 reasons why you should clear your word, you clear your chart, and these are the reasons that you need to know. Once you're able to clear it, this become easier for you. When your chart is clear, you can easily see this chart I'm using today. That at this hour, you can see how it's trending. That's why number one, I said that price structure become easier for you to see. Why? Because with a clear chart, because this is the zone where it's going, you can look at or use it also the candlestick with other indicators become clearer. Already you can see what is happening there as the index. You can also look at the volume here that goes with this uptrend. Here, if you want to break all that, you can see that this set line there is 50 days moving average. I have not called the T line, but you can see it here that say that as we speak now, if the market is above it to 50 days, the market is strong. You can see it here above it. Here it was below. It was below the market. Market at this point. It was even here. Sorry, the market was below the line, but here above it tested. It went back. It's a strong one. Just like when we use T line. T line is for short-term trading, and then to see your support and resistance. You can see that this also tell you that this is a support for the market for this trend. But when it came down, it beat the market was trending down to as low as there before it pick up again. But when market break out this stronger, start riding here, this start here, you see it move up again. That tells you that if the market is already set to break out in 200 days moving average, which I discussed also in the last Saturday class at the that is class session. So once market there another new stock to make new prices, new move, new all-time high. At the same time, new future high also will be seeing it in stocks. That's why you must pay attention to it because price action will help you to know simple, clean, price chart will help you to understand price structure, because it is obvious, and then you can also see it and work with. These are things that, because that is the only way you can read your support and resistance level. Even as we speak now, let me also quickly call our T line here, so you can easily help you to also understand what is happening in the market, to see if the position has changed. You will know this are T line, and our T line, everybody understand that our T line is what? Our T line is 8. We quickly change this one to 8 so that we can get the full picture, and our T line is the blue line there. Looking at the T line, you can see that our market is still very, very strong, even though when we saw it's a little, forming a stronger, resistance here, or double top. But can tell that it's still strong. But when the market breaks down this T line, that's a sign of weakness. But to speak now, the market is very, very strong right away. Yes, I was saying that you need to understand the reason why a clean chart also is very, very important. One, I said for price structure, it's obvious, so that you use it with other indices or indicators to get what a clear direction. It helps you to react, faster and more precisely when you see it. Even though we are not telling this story, once you open the chart the way it is now, you know exactly what to do with your decision. That is why it's very, very good to have a clean chart, because it helps you to set your inquiry list, especially those that also trade short term. You know when to jump in and when to jump out. Your buying and your selling, also become easier for you by obeying also your own rules, because you have a plan already. You are trading. That's why at any successful trader, you must, to make trading simple for you, you must have your trading plan, and keep your trading plan. It helps to keep your decision within that target, and make your decision simple and consistent. That's why you must have a clear chart. That's why I don't put more complicated indices right now. The next one I can even call here. Why? Because I don't joke with them. Is because that is what will work for me. We call up the money flow. Money flow is very, very important. And the last one we also call here is what we call our MACD. You know why we do all this? MACD, you can see, these are few indicators, but you can see some people that they have a lot. With MACD, you can see, because this histogram in MACD is very, very important in taking decision. Even as MACD also cross the long one and the low one below one, you can see also it gives you an insight. You can see that as the market is trending up, that the MACD is also going up. But you can see that at this point, the market is at this top level. You can see that we are already seeing that the histogram is also declining. But MACD is still very, very so. Just like I tell you that when a car is coming with a speed, it doesn't just move. You have to slow down before it turn. Yes, we are seeing that slow down in our histogram here. It said the market will turn here down. It's possible, like I said, market are going to pull back here, but when pull back, not still panic. As a pull back is to gather strength and also continue. Especially it depends on the outcome of the MPC meeting today. And for me, I'm not seeing MPC meeting hiking rate at this point again, because we have seen even a missed movement in inflation, but we have seen that the last one for April also pulled back from almost 24.2 to around 23.7, which is also a good news. And also the left rate unchanged from February to date, and they might likely also leave it again for before their next MPC meeting, or if they want to do any call, not be less than 25 basis points. No, I believe that leaving it also is for me is good for the market. At the same time, as we're also looking at, if today is the May, if they leave it for unchanged April to June, to July for another meeting. Don't forget that July we expect to see the earnings of half-year results, and if they start cutting rate in the second half of the year, that will be a plus for the market. And if you understand that in our market, there are months for watch for buy for positioning, there are months for profit taking. Don't forget that I said that in the history of market, the month of May has always been a bullish market for us, not following the trend of market that sell in May. That also should also help us. Yes, our point number 5 reasons why you should go into simple, clear word, simple, clear, the simple trading chart and make it clear. I've said the second one that it helps you to react fast and also make precise decision. And I said that is why you must have your trading plan, that you not go outside your trading plan. Also, it makes you to trust yourself. You trust yourself more when looking at the chart. The chart is not overloaded. You are seeing clearly. It boosts your dependence on indicators you are using, the one that you are used to. Instead of just trying to do everything, no, you can judge with your indicator easily and take action without looking left and right. That's why this understanding is what I want to let you know, that once you make it simple, it's also simple at the end of the day. It also helps you to avoid emotion. It takes emotional trigger. Even whatever that is happening in the market, because your chart is clean and clear, your price action is telling you what is happening. I tell you, you trade without stress. But when you are looking to Mr. A, Mr. B, you don't understand how the psychology people in the market to begin to want to panic. No, that is not how to trade. That is what you must avoid emotional trigger. Let your chart also guide you because it always telling you the what is happening, the sentiment behind the market. You see it on the chart, and that's why you don't need to work, you don't need to panic. The fifth one is that you must review every of your decision. Why in your chart? Why do you see that? If you look at yes and you are taking a decision, at the end of the day, review that chart to see because it's very, very good that as a trader, as the chart is going, you are looking at it. Also, at the end of the day, go back and see that this clear chart has maybe to make this positive decision and help me to see this pattern, help me to see this direction, help me to see this trend earlier. At the end of the day, after the trade, you do what for review your trade. That also will help you. It will help you also to make a simple process of what buying and selling. That when you open your chart, you know what to do. And each day, you know we are adding any indicator, you know why we are adding them. The line you are drawing become easier for you to make what informed investment decision. That is why as a trader, my own is that make your trading chart simple and focus on what is happening using that chart to make decision because it will tell you, you know, the sentiment behind the chart and all. Yes, back to what to the market. I believe that we are taking what I mean back to the market because of our time. Now let's look at the few stocks that are on the top gainers. Yes, the one that we should pay attention now most. Let's look at what is also moving the pattern we are seeing in better pay in a in the better glass. Let's see what is moving that stuff. If the pattern going to continue, it's good that you can see where it is now. Look at where it started. This what this a day chart you can see. Even when you go to 1 hour chart, that trend is still there. You can see it trending up, and the MACD is still very very strong here. On the 1 hour chart, you can see here the histogram is. That means even when you are saying that yes, you can see that the volume today is very small. But let's wait and see. And we are seeing that this stock in recent time trading above is daily average volume. That something is happening. So that you are seeing the same thing there. We quickly look at what is happening in money where it's very very important to do that right away. Are you still going to hold your position in the stock? That is also what you should also be asking. Should I be selling off right now or I should still hold my position? That's why I need to see what the chart is saying. Because on the daily chart you can see that it's still very strong. Now 9 naira, 19 naira tankable. Then you can see on the 1 hour chart is this still very strong. 1 hour you can see that there was a little kind of sell out that was as to speak now. I thought it has almost 925 was being a 9 naira tankable right now. You can see whether it will go. But good thing that the stock is above the T line and above also the 50-day moving average. You can see that where the stock is for me is a strong one. MACD is also looking up, but you can also see gradually also I see MACD also looking down a bit. On this note, I will say thank you because they already given me a sign that I've even overspent our time for today. Thank you and see you on Wednesday, hopefully by God grace. Enjoy the rest of your trading day. Bye.